Hi, I'm Nikos Mantis. Welcome back to Kitchen Conundrums. This week we're going to do some braising. Braising is a really great cooking method that you can utilize some really economical cuts of meat, stuff that you have a hard time grilling, stir-frying, sautéing, pieces of meat that are tougher. Braising is a long cooking process which breaks down the natural connective tissues in meat and makes it really nice, soft, and tender. What I'm going to show you today is how to do a braised stew type meat. Okay, so what I have here, I have some cubed beef. Okay, this you can either get beef from the grocery store or the farmer's market already cubed up. So I've just got really basic ingredients. I'm going to show you a really basic technique. So I've got my meat, I've got some onions, I've got some carrots, and I've got some potato, and I'm going to put this together as a braised stew. Again, if we had a roast, you could use the same process to do a pot roast. This is a great way to use your slow cooker. What I'm going to show you today, I'll do it in the oven, but it's essentially the same process. So first thing I want to do is I'm just going to season my meat a little bit of salt and pepper. Nothing too fancy. Okay, so over on my stove, again, braising meats, we call it a combination cooking method. So it's a combination of dry heat cooking and moist heat cooking. The dry heat comes from searing. Now we've seen searing before in a previous episode. So I've got my heat on. I'm going to put some oil in the pan. Heat that oil up. Get that real nice and hot. And again, we want to see that oil just start to smoke. Okay, I'm going to grab my meat. A test you can do is you can just take a little piece, and if you see it kind of sizzle and spatter right when you put it in the pan, that's a good sign. That's just on the edge. We're just about there. We don't want to see any liquid coming out of that piece of meat. Okay, we want to see that just start to sizzle and spatter right off the bat. Okay, you can probably see a little bit of smoke starting to rise from the pan, so this is a good time to add my meat. So we just want to let that brown really nicely, like we did when we saw searing meat. And you can check your meat. If you take it off and you see it browning, that's what we're looking for. Okay, we want to have a nice brown color on there. Turn all those pieces. We want to get some nice color on all sides of that meat. You can also see on the bottom of the pan, we've got some nice browning. That's also offering a lot of nice flavor. So now that I've got my meat nice and brown, I'm just going to take my vegetables. I'm going to add them right in. We don't have to cook our vegetables too far at this point in the game, because this is a long cooking process. This is going to cook for hours in the oven. So now that I've got my meat seared, I've got some really nice colors on the meat, I've got my vegetables in. I've got some beef stock. You could use any kind of broth. You could even use water. If you use a stock, you're going to have more depth of flavor. So what I want to do is I just want to add enough liquid to completely cover my ingredients. And as you can see, that pan was real hot. It came to a boil right away, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, we're just going to scrape all the flavor off the bottom of that pan. So here we are. It's just starting to simmer. That's the temperature we're looking for. I'm going to transfer that into an oven dish, and that's going to go right in the oven. So something like this, to braise in the oven at about 325 degrees is going to take about 2 to 3 hours. You can always just test the tenderness of the meat by breaking it apart with a fork. If it breaks apart with a fork or a spoon, you know it's nice and tender. So that's a really quick and easy way to braise meats. Again, you can use some really economical cuts, so it's a fantastic way of feeding your whole family for not too much money. My name is Nikos Mantis. Thanks for watching Kitchen Conundrums.